to a special edition of The Laws of Life. I'm your host, Blanca Greenstein, and today we have author, business coach, and turnaround specialist, Mr. Bob Curry, as our guest. How are you?
I'm doing great.
And we're so honored to have you. I'm holding a copy of your first book, From
Yes.
Red to Black.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write this book?
About 6 months.
So let's talk about your background. What is your education? How did you start out?
I have an undergraduate degree in accounting and a master's degree in taxation. And I passed the CPA exam on the first time in Pennsylvania years ago, but I haven't used it at all.
And after, what was your first position out of college?
2 years of public accounting, so I could sit for the CPA exam. Back then, you had to have 2 years of experience before you sat for the exam.
Okay.
So I had 2 years in 1 day.
Wow.
and then I became a controller of one of the clients of the accounting firm. It was a very large conglomerate of, it was a health and beauty aid distributor, about $150 million that distributed to grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for, I think, 4 years, and then I got recruited to be CFO of a $300 million public company that was a retail toy chain. And then I was recruited to a home builder developer as chief financial officer, chief operating officer. I was there for 8 years. It was the best job in the world.
Why was it the best job? What did you love most about it?
I worked for two gentlemen that were the best managers, leaders, that taught me a lot, that gave me room to grow. And everybody in the company reported to me, and I reported to them. And they were just, my second book is a lot about those two gentlemen that ran the company. They distributed 50% of the profits back to the employees.
No way.
And
That's unheard of.
I know. And the company was extraordinarily successful. And I think that's why.
You think being infinitely generous is the key?
No, it's hiring the best people. They hired the best. They gave them a great facility to work at. Mm-hmm. They let them grow, and they compensated them properly.
Well, I read the book, mm-hmm. and I was very inspired, and I talked about it with our team, and I mean, it was a lot of the things that you didn't say in the book that I found very interesting too. Just the way you were telling the story, like the receptionist that was at the front desk of this one company that you were observing as one of your coaching clients.
Yes.
It was sort of a funny story because you said she was smoking a cigarette at the front desk originally, and she was chewing gum, and you were very taken aback by that first impression. How important is that first impression?
It's extremely important that when a customer walks in and there's a girl on the phone, on her cell phone, on a personal call, smoking a cigarette, the place smells, there's smoke going up, and she's not paying attention, not doing her job. She wasn't dressed properly. And I thought, boy, this is a turnaround here. And it starts when you walk through the front door.
So how did you have to tell her directly this isn't working, or you told your client, the head of the company, to fix that immediate first impression?
No, but whenever I do a turnaround, I do the fixing.
Okay.
The reason why is because they did the fixing first, mm-hmm. and they failed. So all the changes of any company that I go in to make profitable, I make changes. So I terminated the girl.
Oh, you just terminated her. You didn't even try to rehabilitate her? You just terminated her? Because she was hopeless.
Yes. I didn't want to get there, but yes.
But you know what? Sometimes you have to make that decision.
Yes.
Let's talk about, you said the number one ingredient is successful people.
Yes.
And that means, in turn, that when an employee isn't right, sometimes you do have to let them go. It's a reality of keeping a business afloat.
Yes.
What is your philosophy on that? Do you give a person 3 months to rehabilitate? How many write-ups does it take until you finally decide?
See, I'm not patient at all.
Okay.
When I hire an employee, we put them on a 90-day probation period.
Okay.
Okay? And during that 90 days, they get weekly reviews.
Weekly?
Yes.
By you, as the turnaround? Or
Well, it depends upon the position.
Okay.
I wouldn't give a weekly review to a receptionist.
Okay.
I would give a weekly review to a vice president of finance or a vice president of sales, or so that I give them goals to do their job.
Okay.
Okay, we totally understand what their job is and what they need to accomplish.
Okay.
And so, and I tell you right up front that we're going to meet every Friday at 3 o'clock and speak for a half an hour, how the week went, and are you accomplishing what you need to accomplish. See, the very important thing that makes a company successful is they don't invest money, the company's money, in people that aren't productive. When you invest money, the company's money, let's say you're a superstar, and Susie right next to you is terrible, okay? And I'm spending the same money on Tubi. I'd much rather get rid of Susie and double your salary.
That's a very good point too. Use the
I
money wisely.
invest in people that are productive. And what that does is put more productive people around you. Okay?
Good advice.
Yeah.
So what?
Hire the best.
I mean, that's literally your number one law of life on corporate success.
Yes.
Because it's all about the people.
Yeah.
And so on that note, you think that a good company is constantly interviewing, constantly having resumes on
Yes.
file, constantly going through that process.
Yes.
That's definitely one of the things I took away from this book, which I highly recommend. It's extremely well written.
Thank you.
It really is. And so aside from the HR, what is the second biggest area that a company looking to turn around has to focus on?
Setting up goals for each one of the management team to accomplish an extremely good, accurate, timely reporting so that you always have a report card
Okay.
for everybody. If you're a salesman and you have a quota of $100,000, I know how you're doing against that $100,000.
Okay. Report card is everything.
Report card is everything.
Do you ever find, what do you do when, keeping a report card on every person can be a very monotonous process.
No.
How do you keep that fresh?
Having good people, it gets easier and easier.
Because they should be self-reporting, in a sense.
Well, think about this. If I have 3 people that are just knocking it out of the park, and I have one person that is totally struggling, okay? First of all, I always pay attention to the 3 people that are doing extremely well because I always want to be in touch with them. I always want to understand that they're in a good place, the company's performing well for them since they're performing well for the company. And I spend more time with them than I do with the people that are non-productive. Because if I support them, their platform is up here. They can go up this high. If I double this person's productivity, it might only be here. So I focus on the people that are killing it. All right?
So you do. So, and how many opportunities, how many report cards does it take until, what's the formula for laying off someone?
You know...
Not to focus on the negative, because I know this is positive.
You know there's very quickly, there's a square peg in a round hole very quickly. And you have to look and give the person a fair chance to see if they can change and
So
accomplish.
follow your gut, have an incredible team, and continuous reporting. Now, what's your philosophy on marketing and sales? There's so many marketing companies out there, public relations companies. Some people say magazines are dead. They don't work. Whether you're selling a good or a service, how do you recommend, as the turnaround specialist, how to build up sales?
My second book is all about sales. The
Yes.
turnaround's all about sales. This is more about operations. The second book is, we grew a company from 48 million to 130 million in 9 months. It would have been 200 million if we didn't sell the company. How we did that is we met with each one of the salespeople and got any roadblocks that were in their way. We gave them all goals on quotas, goals, and we had contests. We had sales contests.
That's key.
We
Motivation.
We did training. We did sales training constantly. We started our training at 7:30 in the morning and went till 9 o'clock for like the first 3 weeks of the year.
So
to
what's the
improve
key?
sales.
Because everybody's selling something. No matter what you do in this universe, you're selling something.
Yes.
Doesn't matter whether, even if you don't have a job. What's your number one golden law of life on how to make the sale?
Oh, that's very simple. Relationship. People buy from you if they like you. If they don't like you, they'll find every reason in the world not to buy anything from you. So the first thing that I do if I'm trying to sell something to somebody or close a client or something, I want them to like me. So I open up, I understand, I research the person, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, everything that I can learn about the person.
Break bread with them?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So that after we meet once or twice, you're going to like me. And then when you like me, you're going to buy anything I want to sell.
No matter what it costs.
Yes. It's not about price.
It's not about price, it's about trust.
Think about this.
Yes.
If you go to buy a car at a car dealership, and
Yes.
you walk in there and a salesman comes walking up to you, and he's doing a great job at trying to sell you a car. And then you look over and your best friend is sitting there, and he's a salesman, okay? And he walks up and says, Blanca, what are you doing here? I'm buying a car. I'm buying a car. Who are you going to buy the car from? Is it your best friend or is it the salesman? People don't like salesmen. People like to deal with their friends. So if you build a relationship with your customer, you should never lose the customer because they don't ever want to walk away from their best friend.
I mean, it is all about relationships, and we need each other in this community. That's why I believe we have to do, fun things together as a community as well.
Yes.
Organize charity events, raise money, do fun things, network, attend events, go to other people's events and support each other, because if there are no relationships, it's very difficult to succeed.
Yeah.
What about that rule, after 2 years, most businesses fail? Do you believe in that? Disagree with that?
I don't know about that. All I know is that if you have a plan and you've hired a good management team, you're going to be successful. And if you have 1 or 2 bad fits in that management team, if you let it sit there, you are going to fail. If you pull that bad one out and put a superstar in there, it's amazingly different.
And what's your personal law of life for achieving balance between, the rigorous business world and having a happy personal life? What's your advice on that?
Well, I am the happiest married man you've ever met in your life.
That's awesome.
I am married to the most magnificent, tremendous, brilliant woman that is on this earth. And I work hard to make her happy. She works hard to make me happy. We work together, we play together, we have a great time together.
So nice.
So I focus on making her life better and making my life better. And I really care about it. I mean, I passionately do that. And there's great results. I mean, everybody around us says, oh man, I wish I had a relationship.
And you think that
like
translates also into your business life because you have
yes.
such a great personal relationship?
Yes.
So that's important too.
Yes.
Because if that puzzle piece isn't good, it could completely negatively impact you as well.
My work, what I do for a living is not work. Everything, I do turnarounds. I passionately love doing it because I'm a giver. I'm truly a giver. This, writing a book, writing 2 books, that's not work for me. I sit down to write and I'm juiced. I'm passionate about it.
Let me ask you this. How did you become a giver? Because not everyone is. Why are you like that?
I think you're born that way. I have 4 sisters and a brother, and my family was all very close. I worked for my dad when I was 7 years old till I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. He owned 3 bowling alleys, and we refinished bowling alleys in the summertime. And my dad and I were close. I remember, when school was out, at 7 a.m. I was in my dad's truck, and we were going to a bowling alley to refinish it.
At 7 years old, he had you working?
At 7 years old.
And you didn't mind?
I used to have to carry those. It's not that I minded. I didn't have
There was no other way.
No, there was no. It was like when you graduated from high school, I knew I was going to college. It was not.
It had to happen.
Yeah, it was not an option. It was just.
So would you say your father was a big influence on you?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Helped build your work ethic?
Yes.
And you're still currently taking clients on now as a business
coach?
Yes. You have available. So for those businesses that are watching, Mr. Bob Curry is a business coach, a very successful entrepreneur, a published author of 2 books. You can retain Bob Curry and turn around your business. How would one of our viewers contact you?
Well, I have a website. It's www.fortlauderdaleceo, Fort spelled out, fortlauderdaleceo.com. My email address is bob@CEO, like Chief Executive Officer, RSC, which is my initials, CEORSC.com. And my phone number is 407-968-9000. 407-968-9000.
As I always say, life is an open book test, and all the tools in the toolbox are there. So if you need to do a turnaround on your business, call Bob Curry. What do you have to lose? If you're looking for an incredible speaker for your organization, I can tell you, I could talk to you, Bob, for hours picking your brain. But I hope everyone learned something today. Bob, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
And it's also because of Bob Curry that we are filming today's episode of The Laws of Life at City College. So thank you for organizing that. And thank you to the president, your wife, for organizing that. Very much appreciate it. What's her name?
Esther.
Esther. Thank you so much, Esther. And everyone have a wonderful day. I hope you learned something today. I know I did. Have a